Jersey, stand up. RETV is covering all the sights and sounds from the historic North to Shore Jersey Festival. Comedy, culture, music, arts, Jersey love. It's the festival that only Jersey can handle. But right now, check out this special preview.
Okay, what we're going to do here today, Redman, is we're going to bring some of that unnecessary anger out your system. Focus your mind. Focus your mind.
What's going on, everybody? This is the star maker, Bob Sumner, and you are watching RE Classics.
What can we expect? What's your vision for it? You know what I'm saying? What's in your mind?
In my mind is nothing more than what was on my mind in August of 1991. That's when I embarked on this journey to take everything that I had been doing since 85, 86 and put it all together. But like I said, I put a lot of what I do into sports. So I pretty much decided that I was going to identify, besides New York and LA, the other cities that I needed to visit to take a look at who's out here so I could put together the right squad to present to HBO. So, you know, I pretty much did the same thing now, but it took the pandemic for me to do it because I'm listening to T.I. interview Chris Tucker. I'm listening to Shannon interview J.B. Smoove, and they keep going back to how do we get back to the golden age. And when they talk about the golden age, they talk about the 90s and Def Comedy Jam, not Comic View, but they're talking about Def Comedy Jam. I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And I said, I could show you, but I could tell you, but I need this pandemic to end so I could put out this joint called Bob Sumner's Back to Basics Comedy Showcase. Didn't have a name for it back in 91, but I have a name for it now. Everybody knows my track record and what I've done. You know, some people love me, some people can't stand me because they did, you know, Comic View 6 times and never did Def Jam. Because I'm looking for a star. I'm looking for somebody that can become Smokey on Friday, you know, Day on Friday. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking for Bernie Mac to tell everybody in the Kings of Comedy audience, I'm the only one that don't have a show. I need a show. The reason I put him as the host of Def Comedy Jams tours because Martin had his own thing. Bernie lit it up. Next thing you know, they're doing this Kings of Comedy with all these guys that have TV shows. But you know who else they had? Bernie. Because Bernie was that dude and he created his own lane.
Kick it! You don't understand.
And that was the same way with when I had Bill Bellamy hosting the Peppermint. You know, I took him out of a space where I had first started, downtown Newark, and brought him over there with me. And we went from Club 88 to the Peppermint. Bill made it to MTV. I replaced Bill with a kid named Mike Epps. You know what I'm saying? But these are all comedians who I saw a big upside. As well as, I mean, it's so many. Craig Robinson. No one even realizes Craig Robinson. Jay Farrell. Jay Farrell came later on, but it was crazy how that happened. It was a childhood friend. Their uncle called me. He worked on a day shift with Jay, who does comedy. Knew I was coming to Virginia and wanted to see if he could get on my showcase. He got on my showcase. I'm getting ready to do a showcase for some agents at Caroline's in New York. And I asked him if he wanted to come up just to, I have some agents there and maybe you never know what happens.
Right.
One of the agents fell in love with him and he got Saturday Night Live.
He's extremely talented too.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think people realize what that dude comes with it all.
Had a great set. Charlie calls me to the green room. He goes, hey, yo, man. Listen, man. Yo, man, that was a great set, man. When you did that Cameron and Dipset stuff. Yo, Shane, I was on my back laughing like a turtle, Shane.
But he had that. I saw something. You know what I mean? It was like, he's doing his best impressions at that time. Of course, he's added so many, but it was no different than when I saw Aries as a 14-year-old. Soon as he became old enough, for working papers, he's on Def Comedy Jam.
With Bill Cosby being gone off the air and shit, they're gonna need somebody to do Jello pudding commercials. And I thought about some shit that scared me. What would happen if Andrew Dice Clay did Jello pudding commercials? That shit would look something like this. Okay, you fat tub of shit, listen up.
So here we are. And I get an opportunity to bring the rising stars of comedy to New Jersey Performing Arts Center on June 22nd.
And everybody got to be in there, man, because they got to witness it when it happens from the beginning this time. You know what I'm saying? They got to see the development stages.
Yeah.
No
one saw it.
Yeah.
No one saw that the first time. We didn't have social media. It just happened.
On that roster for the show coming up, what are some of the comedians that stand out to you? I don't want you to show favoritism, but just give me a little highlights of what you see that the audience gonna really love.
There is no favoritism with the Legacy Entertainment Group. I put together this team. Along with my boy Jeff Friday. You know what I mean? Who I have bounced off of for forever. I have Jeff Billingsley and Bobby Duckett. That's the core who I roll with because everybody have their expertise in doing what they do. I'm the talent guy, So I presented them like I said, yo, man, let's do this. And I already know who we gonna rock with from the door. I don't want too many. I tried that before out in LA and it was too many. And it was the wrong situation for me because I got to realize that I'm the architect. You dig? Rashaun Reese. Okay. Rashaun Reese, man, he lights up a stage everywhere he goes. And he has that Robin Harris in him, that Bernie in him. Like he knows how to come at you. You know what I mean? But make you feel good about it too. Then there's a kid out of Tampa. I went with a friend of mine, Haywood Workman, former baller NBA player with the Pacers, right?
Oh yeah.
So we took that ride, and then Haywood and I went to do the showcase, right? So I'm sitting there. I watched 12 comedians. Okay. Nothing really hit me. It was some funny guys, and I'm not looking for just funny. I'm looking for that star, right?
Yeah.
Lucky number 13. Okay. This kid gets on stage and he's killing it. I mean, killing it. And I said to Wood, right? I said, Wood, you know who this guy reminds me of? He said, who? I said, man, there was a guy back in my high school and college days, used to go over to Washington Square Park. I used to see this guy named Charlie Barnett, right? Charlie Barnett, he became popular in the park, as well as he had a shot on Miami Vice and, DC Cab. Like
DC
Charlie
Cab, yeah.
Charlie was dope, but Charlie never, really took off because he had other situations he needed to deal with. Yeah. But Rio Paris is a modern day version of Charlie Barnett. Then I went down to Richmond, Virginia. There was a young lady that got on stage, and she reminded me of a cross between Minnie Riperton and Marvelous Miss Maisel. that's Apple Brown Betty, man. Apple Brown Betty is like, I could see her on someone's sitcom and someone's movie. You know, no different than what Monique has done. Anthony Oakes is like, he's booked all over with it being Pride Week. I mean, Pride Month. You know what I mean? Right. With it being, I mean, I'm getting calls for him right now because he, you know, the thing is, he's proud of who he is. And I tell you that
he mixes it in with his comedy too.
It goes with everything else that's on this show because it's no different than I remember one time I'm in the car we coming from an event and I'm with Q-Tip and Russell, right? We're in the car and Tip asked Russell, what is it that make you sign an artist to Def Jam? And he said,
it's a great question.
He said they need to be different.
All right, man. Well, you know what? I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I just want to thank you for the masterclass. I know our audience is going to be appreciative of this, you know, because it's just like, it's just gold. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to see you down there at the show. You know what I'm saying? And we'll kick it then.
I'm laughing because you said, you know, the audience is going to appreciate this. You know what the audience is going to appreciate?
What's that?
New Jersey Performing Arts Center. I'm telling you, hey, fam. And then I just wanted to end this part. I was just going to say that not only is it going to be educational to see the rising stars of comedy, but it's also going to be a moment where I'm not against what's going on with the social medians, as Damon Williams said. I coined that phrase, but it's true. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's like, don't take that because you get views and you getting hits and the comedy clubs are booking you, because the comedy clubs are trying to pack seats. And if you could come in there into their restaurant, bar, and get people to eat up and drink up, what's going on that stage is not what was on that 4-minute clip. You got 45 minutes. So you have to perfect that craft somewhere, or this might be the last time you hear, because these people expected to see a lot of what they thought they were going to see. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to do is bridge the gap. Okay, so prior to the rising stars of comedy, I'm bringing a young man who's right from Brick City, who's major on the social media front, to warm up the audience doing stand-up comedy. You know what I'm saying? His name is Fat Poppy. Okay, because I have a comedy gym every other Thursday in Linden, New Jersey, that this young lady, GL Douglas, who's a rising star, she hosted, and comedians come in and they work on their material. You know what I mean? They punch, because the worst thing is to hear the guys say the same joke over and over again. You need to perfect it. We have people in there that help you punch it up and everything. Women, guys, everybody, just come in. If you never did comedy before and you want to try to be a comedian, we have this space for you. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much how everything is going to go down. You'll see Fat Poppy. And then I have DJ Walla. You know what I mean? DJ Walla going to have that party going.
Straight out of Jersey. You heard me, my brother. I'm live. Time for some action.
RE Classics we will never forget.